on me.
Oh,
you're
gosh.
doomed.
Oh no.
Oh.
Why don't you tell us what that was?
So we're doing good because we weren't trying to run away from him. If you're able to keep a tank on him in close with the highest threat, he's not going to use his pull ability. As soon as you run and scatter, and you tend to, just because of his sheer damage output, he actually throws out this big spirit hand that grips you, pulls you back in, and then proceeds to annihilate you because your guard is down for a little bit. Which I think I showed how to fail at fighting him quite well just now.
The spirit hand is pretty brutal.
The bad touches, we like to call it.
Yeah, exactly. I need an adult.
Yes, exactly. Now, you guys are actually making pretty good progress here, and for anyone who's maybe not as initiated with some of the roles, Grant, maybe you walk us through a bit of like how the strategy of working with the different roles or character classes comes together.
So, well, it comes down to preference actually. Like, there are different things you can do that can work. What we're running right now is two keepers, a legionnaire and an archer. So we're mostly relying on our archer to deliver the damage. We got a bit of damage coming out of the keepers, but it's mostly for area control, and we're mostly just dropping barriers. Come on, Josh.
My health is so low.
And we're relying on Josh to soak up as much damage as possible, which isn't going so well right now. That can kind of vary, though. Hopefully we'll be able to unlock some new classes in the near future and show you those guys. But you can approach it different ways. You can try and do it entirely based on control and not have a tank, for example, or you can try and like Luke was saying, you could try and go with 4 keepers and just soak it all up with barriers. It's probably not going to go very well.
Let's get that stalker first.
You would have to stand in the
shadow
ball the whole time.
You could drink a potion, bud. Or do you have none at all?
Who got him?
I have none at all.
Okay, I have a mist. Hold on.
There we go. So, maybe talk us through what potion you're using there, the healing mist.
So it was a little splash AoE that I can drop on the ground to heal my friends and anyone who stands in it, essentially. It didn't get him very much, though. He's getting
Yeah, I think I'm moving around a bit too much.
We're all pulled back here. I got barrier up.
Oh, did you guys run?
We're high.
Let's,
Strategic kiting, I told you. It's not right.
Yeah.
We're making decisions.
All right. Yeah.
Now, as you kind of hinted at, Grant, we have two keepers, so our mages are support mages, or at least that's their starting loadout. You can kind of obviously go more aggressive there and go a little bit more DPS.
Much like your legionnaire can go offensively based. So
exactly, right? So
start support based.
So they fill kind of those archetypes, but you can kind of play to either side. Now, one of the things that folks are starting to ask is, can you respec?
So you get all of your points back if you promote a character at maximum level, but for the most part you're committed to the choices that you make. We don't have like the free respec card. It's something I would like to potentially add. Depending on the reaction to it, I kind of wanted to try it as a commitment. Like you choose the abilities that you want, and you have to make your choices carefully so that they're meaningful. If you can just reset them whenever, it's not as meaningful. So no matter what happens, there will always be a cost if we implement a respec, but at launch, there's no simple way to respec. You essentially have to finish leveling up your character and reset them.
Now, when you say finish leveling up, maybe tell us about what the level cap is and how you would go about promoting.
The level cap's 20. I think what's single player has no effective cap, does it?
It's got a soft cap in the mid-20s.
Okay. But so we have a hard cap of 20. Like once you hit level 20, you cannot gain more levels. You can get equipment that's higher than level 20, but your character will never pass level 20, and that's when you can promote it and reset it, which gives if you want, which gives you some of those scoreboard points and lets you start over if you decide you want to change it. The life cycle of character is a little bit longer this time around. Like in Mass Effect, I could max a character in a couple. What was it, like 4 hours maybe?
Yeah.
If you really went hard.
All right, we're gonna have some trouble with this encounter here. I may just run from him instead of tanking because I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid, Josh. Build that guard.
All right. Well,
Here, I got a barrier. Stop panicking. Slow. I can't reach if you.
Oh, I blocked it. It's good.
There.
So one of the questions that came in, you know, and we kind of hinted at this by having to switch accounts here so we could get our Legionnaire up. But do each of the characters level up individually, or do they, you know, do the points share between each characters?
Every character is its own character. So there's no. Well, okay. Just to disambiguate, every one of your characters is its own character. If you're leveling up your keeper is independent of any of the other characters, any of the other mages. In a session, like all 4 of us are sharing XP. But if my keeper gets to level 15, that doesn't mean anything for any of the other. Well, for the most part, it doesn't mean anything for the other characters.
For the
except
levels of the other characters.
Right. I'll just be stronger and be able to get more gold and get better loot for them, probably.
Now, of course, you may be, you know, enticed to go play some of those other characters by some of the items you may earn through chests. So there's always a good reason to kind of check out those other characters, even though you may have a high-level other player. You may want to, you know, dive into someone else.
Yeah, I find the most common thing is either, you know, you unlock a new class when you get around level 10, and then you're like, oh, I kind of want to get 20, but now I sort of want to play as the Reaver, or you get a really good two-handed weapon or like a dagger, and you're like, well, I kind of want to play as this now. So you often end up not getting to 20 and just having tons of characters at level 10.
Yeah. All right, so it
We
looks
got
like
a shadow in here.
we got a lot of enemies. Yeah, Shadow looks like there's
a big
maybe
beam
demons
to
off
your
the
right
side
as
here.
well.
Oh,
Bearing.
yeah,
Fall
we
back.
should fall back.
Yeah, our
That
Legion.
was-
Now our Legionnaire looks like he's pretty low on health again. You know,
Do we have any good
are there any
potions to
healing
use?
abilities
I'll drop
that we
the
have?
piece.
I'm panicking.
There are
fail.
no abilities that generate health in multiplayer. There is one potion, 2 potions, I believe.
Save me,
that do it.
bees. Bees will
And
save me.
Awesome, Jar
That is
Bees.
the only way to get health. What you want to be using instead is barrier and guard as much as possible to mitigate damage done to your health rather than generate it.
Yeah, so much more support
save
driven,
me.
not so much healing. You know, and this is why we kind of stress, you know, teamwork is gonna be critical
Please.
for your team
Yeah.
here.
got
If you
the
want to
Archer.
stay alive, we see here Josh has
thank
actually
God.
slipped into the fade.
Oh, now you can explain that.
So now the good thing here is that if
Oh.
our team is able to survive and make it to the next doorway, we'll actually see Josh come back.
Free XP, revive me.
Survive despite your incompetence.
Yeah, so yeah, in this mode, what you can actually do is it's sort of like the tactical cam. You can actually see the stats of characters. I can follow through, guide people. I'm hoping that through this door I get resurrected.
There we go.
Yes.
Nice. Good job, team.
I don't know if I was prepared to explain that well enough anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to point out, you're going to see, watching me play as a tank, my camera's slightly more erratic because I always have to check around and see if my allies are getting attacked. That's one difference you'll see in the play style as well between a tank character and the other characters who are a little bit more laid back or further back in the distance.
Awesome. Now, you know, obviously, if you love hockey, that's a pretty common thing. Head on a swivel, we say. All right, now it looks like you guys just planted down the banner here for the Inquisition.
Yeah.
I can imagine there's someone here who's going to dispute that claim.
Yeah, this is where things get real once again, just like the last time.
Now this time we're fighting against a different faction. Josh, you know, as the lead creature designer, essentially, maybe walk us through what's different between this faction that we're seeing versus what we saw earlier.
Yeah, so from the start we had ideas about how we were going to make the Red Templars different from the Venatori and the Venatori different from the Demons. Largely a lot of what you see from the Red Templars is brute strength and high armor. So you're going to see them being able to take a lot more hits but be vulnerable to magic. That was a big theme that we went with them. In terms of the units, you're also going to see very different units. We took down a behemoth. We're going to be fighting the horrors. Oh, I'm doing terrible. Explaining and fighting at the same time.
Got barrier.
Please save me. You're going to end up seeing very different units, but sort of similar roles, so you sort of still understand how you're going to be fighting these enemies and taking them down. One enemy you're going to see in particular, who's in the middle that we're going to run away from, is the Red Templar Commander, who is going to be whirlwinding around in combat. And we're going to be trying to avoid that wherever possible.
I'm out of bees, guys. Somebody bees him.
All right, now we're getting to a pretty huge moment here in combat. Now, let's take a quick break and talk about a really critical topic here. Who's the best archer?
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I'm not
the
playing anymore.
The action actually speaks for itself, because when I was playing, you guys didn't get to see the death camera, and there's a reason for that. But when Josh was playing, you did get to see that death camera.
Repeatedly.
Well, you know, I'm the tank. I'm the one who's got to take the blows.
You know what that sounds like is some excuses.
Potentially. One could interpret them that way. But as long as my allies don't see the death cam, I'm about to die for sure.
Uh-oh. I
That's
hope
the
you have
big
a life
thing.
left.
So we'll say it's maybe still open for debate as to who the best are.
This is
Yeah.
not gonna go well now.
Yeah, you guys have no tank now.
Are you fade
So-
mode?
Yeah,
it looks.
dead.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh, I'm
Josh
gonna
has
get
slipped
pinned to the
off
wall in a
now here.
second.
Okay.
We should also probably mention that when someone goes into the fade, the enemies actually do get buffed, so it becomes a bit harder.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope. As we lose one team member, you may have seen a message that popped up saying the enemies have grown stronger. This is going to get a little bit tougher for everyone else involved.
Oh, the interrupt.
Now we can actually, you can see here we got your spirit here is you know, you can drive that around. We're seeing details here of, you know, different enemies, what their levels are, and this guy looks interesting. He's got a big broadsword here.
Yeah, so this is
Oh,
the
there.
Red Templar commander here. So he is fully buffed. He's immune to a lot of effects.
Wow.
And he's slow moving. So if we stay away, we can try and get rid of the other Red Templar units effectively.
The real question is, looking at that really quickly, can you tell me what he's not immune to?
Yeah, that was like a grocery
one-
list
Yeah,
of
there's-
pain that he's
there
into.
are-
Yeah,
Yeah, there are definitely
Using
a
my
lot
psychic
of...
powers, I could tell you what it is.
yeah. He looks like he's, you know, maybe brought some questionable medicine into this battle too. He looks a little bit bigger than he did a moment ago.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
He likes to consume the
There we go.
red lyrium.
Now,
Get super tough.
yeah.
in the Fade, you can actually use your D-pad still to, you know, call out locations as well, right?
Yeah, so if I did want to actually target him, for my allies, I can do that.
Awesome. So you can
And
see that cross swords target icon shows up there.
Yeah, and one of the things you can do to, now that I'm not able to actually fight, I can pay attention to where enemies are. So if I'm looking to see where enemies are coming from, I can definitely shout it out to my allies and ensure that they dodge the incoming attacks. Oh, is somebody? No. they're
Archer's
alive.
very close to death.
No potions?
All right. So
oh, man.
Oh, look at that.
It's not going to
Yeah.
end well.
So as we're drifting around here, and Josh is our spirit mode here in the Fade, we notice that in the HUD itself, there's not a whole lot there for our team members' health. Maybe Grant, you can kind of walk us through where we'd find that information for, you know, what kind of status effects our team members are suffering from.
So we basically put a bar above their head, essentially. That green bar that you guys have seen flying around your screen shows how much health they have, which is not much right now. It turns red as they get weaker and weaker. Oh, come here for the barrier.
You guys are in
That's
trouble.
Clutch.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
nice. Very well done at the
run
barrier
away.
there on our archer. You see that blinking red obviously means that things are going a little bit rough there. Oh, we lost another team member.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be everyone. Oh, we got,
I got this, guys.
yeah,
Do not
are you-
worry.
There we go. Keeper's still alive.
All up
Watch
to you.
this.
Trying to get everybody
Easy.
up.
Guy.
We lost 2 members now, so the enemies are getting a second damage boost.
No.
All right. So you can see, even, you know, we got some pretty high-level players here, or characters, mid-level, I should say. Obviously, very experienced players, and we're still dying here. This is the easiest difficulty. So I think Grant might be onto something there with with challenge. So
Yeah, it's not going to let you win. I don't believe that any game should just let you win. That's for suckers.
the game won't pat you on the back, essentially.
Not at all.
It will slap you on the back.
Yeah.
And knock you on your face.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
So
I didn't get gold.
actually, now that we kind of, you know, speaking of challenge, maybe let's we'll get through the end of match here. We can see, you know, any progress we've made on challenges. But let's we'll take a look at the challenge screen, just kind of get an idea of what kind of challenges are available to us. So
Sure, I just want to see what this score ended up being.
Legionnaire didn't end up at the bottom. There you go.
Well, not at the bottom.
Yeah.
He did get beat by the level 1 keeper, though.
All
Levels.
right. Okay.
Level 1.
I started at level 1, sir.
And all the way up to level 4. There you go. So some good team play got it up to level 4.
Yeah, look how many
so
levels I helped you get.
there you go. Solid
that.
teamwork.
Yeah.
All right. So at the end of the match, there we see the summary. We'll take a peek here. Oh, we'll back out with B.
Yep.
Let's take a look at the prestige tile here. So we can take a look at what kind of challenges and the various leaderboards we have available to us. So let's maybe jump into challenges. We can see a bunch of different you know, types and different little sections at the top there. Grant, maybe walk us through what we see at the top there. It looks like it mentions banners, portraits.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to see on Patrick's screen what you guys are actually looking at. So, yeah, there's a collection of banners, portraits, and titles that you can get. So, in addition to every time you earn a rank of a challenge, so if you go into that agent, that agent challenge there. So controlled destruction, for example, that's to play with the alchemist. Each of those little stars is a rank of it, and that's going to give you some prestige. You can see that up in the top right there next to his name. So he's got 14, not very good. I have 22.
No bad.
Oh, actually, he's
I got
24. Looks
24.
like 24 here.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Oh, a little.
Busted. So the stars that have, what do you call it, sort of like highlights around them, those are going to be either a banner, a title, or a portrait. So if you can scroll to the right there, it'll tell you. So that first one there is looks like a portrait. Yeah, okay. And the second one over is probably a banner. Yeah. So the banners are lobby displayable. If you just back out real quick to the lobby there, we're all really low-level accounts. We haven't really gotten very far. We have no banners, so you can't really see, but the black sort of see-through thing behind each person's name, that's where your banner is going to go. And right next to the name is where the portrait goes, and those are also displayed above their head in-game. So if he were to complete that Alchemist challenge, for example, he's probably going to get an icon representing the Alchemist and how awesome he is with her, and he can put that next to his name and above his head in-game, and he's going to get that banner.
I have a title now.
Probably. There you go. So
There you go. Actually,
Elven
there we go.
Historian.
Elven Historian there.
So he's played a bunch of Keeper, I think it is, or is
Yeah.
that okay? And that's where your title shows up, is right underneath there.
Yeah, and the icons you're referring to, those are those ones we see directly to the left of your name here, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. So like the blue, yellow, gray, and I'm not exactly sure what all those are. One of them kind of looks like Hawk. One's some kind of three-eyed monster, you know. So you're going to be able to change those out depending on which challenges you pursue. So like if you really like fire damage and you burn everybody, you'll probably get an icon with some, you know, flames around it and whatnot, or a banner. Oh, ready up. Is that what you guys are gesturing at me?
Yeah. All right. Actually, I think that's where we're gonna wrap today. So thanks everyone for joining us today. You know, it's always fun to play some Damp with you guys, some Dragon Age multiplayer. We're gonna try to make sure that we do some future streams. Nothing announced for dates just yet, but make sure to follow at Dragon Age on Twitter. Keep an eye on the stream here. Subscribe, obviously, and that'll keep notifying you when we're online. And yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. We'll keep an eye out. And yeah, we're making sure that we have EA Access online. So if you do have Xbox One, you have EA Access subscription. Make sure to jump in. You can get Dragon Age Inquisition right now and be able to play either the campaign or some multiplayer. And you may see some of us online. We try to get to the top of the leaderboards there. So, and of course, yeah, it comes out November 18th in North America and November 21st in the UK. So next week, and of course, early access right now with the EA Access. So, thanks again, everyone. Hope you had fun watching. We had a blast showing you, and I can't wait to show you more as we get into deeper accounts with more characters. So, we'll see you soon.
Yeah. See ya.
See you, folks.
Ciao.
It had to be demons. Chargers! Clean up and clear out. There's money on the horizon.
The threat will unite them. You will lead them.